Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, February 14th, 2012. This is Talk to Me Tuesday number 29. Wanted to start by wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day. I hope everyone has a good one. Gonna try and make this quick because my son has asked for a ride to work, so I want to get the video done so I can take him. So a couple things. I was able to get Alia's prizes out to her last week. She actually got them Friday, so that's a good thing. Second thing, I joined Does Muffins recipe swap. I was feeling miserable last week, but I did go out and try to find recipe cards, and for some reason couldn't find recipe cards anywhere. I've seen them when I didn't need them, and now that I need them, I don't see them. So I opted to just send out some neon bright index cards with the recipe. So I plan on getting those together so I can send them out tomorrow. And I think that's about it for bits and pieces. If I think of anything else, oh well, it's too late. So onward. Didn't do a whole lot of crafting last week. I wasn't really feeling that good, so, got to the point where sometimes thinking was just impossible. So, my kitty cat has this thing about picking at my curtain. Behave. Did manage to get to the craft store. Because I did promise my daughter we would go. She wanted to use some coupons to get some more yarn for her Afghan. And while we were there, I decided to look for the loops for the bag that I'm making the pot holder squares for. Unfortunately, Joann's doesn't sell just the loops in the store. You actually have to buy a kit, which I used. I think it was like a 50% off coupon, so it was no big deal. But thank you, Alia, for sending me the link for those loops. I'm going to check a couple other places. And I know I have seen bigger bags of the loops. I just don't remember where. So, anyway, but got a couple more squares done for that. And I do have a bulky black yarn I'm going to use to do an edge around it and then put them together. So that'll be cool when it gets done. While we were there, my daughter asked me to make her a pair of socks. So she chose the yarn, and it was actually Bernat Super Value. And this color is Techno Ombre. And it looks like that. It's got like gray and green and blue and red. I think that's about it. But I did manage to get her a pair of socks made. And here they are. Yay! So now she has a pair of socks herself. And I have a little leftover yarn. And while I was there, because I love the way the socks turned out using the the Karen Simply Soft, I did pick myself up 2 more skeins of that. This is called Strawberry, and it's a nice, pretty pink. It's not a gaudy pink, it's not a light pink, it's just right. And this is called Blue Mint. So, for another 2 pairs of socks for me, because they are just so comfortable. And I also picked up this Red Heart Super Saver. It's Calliope, or Calliope, or however you say it. I don't know, but it's that. It's got pinks and blues and greens and purples and yellows. It's a really nice color. And last one I got was Melonberry. And that's this one, and it's got purple and pink and yellow and almost like an orangey type color. So those were my yarn choices for the time being. So that takes care of that. For all you crocheters out there, Ofen Jen had mentioned that she does not know anything at all about knitting. So, guess what? There's two ways crocheters who don't feel that they'd be able to pick up a pair of knitting needles and learn how to knit can actually create knit fabrics with crochet hooks. One way is a book called, I have sticky notes on it here, so let me take those off. It's called Knit 1, Purl 2 in Crochet. I actually got this book first on ePattern Central. The only problem is I can't take the computer to work with me because there's no internet access. So I ended up buying the book, and it's an excellent book. I think I actually ordered it through Barnes & Noble. So I got a discount for being a member. Plus, being a member, I don't pay for shipping. So, got that. It's really cool. It does create knit fabric. Only problem is I don't have either of the two things that I've made. I did make, I just passed it, I did make this scarf. Came out really cool. I've got it somewhere. I couldn't tell you right off where. And, where'd it go? And I did make this bag. Didn't do it, the handles the same, didn't make it as big. I actually made it smaller, and I just did a handle on the bag because I was using it for work. So there's one way that crocheters can actually make knit projects with a crochet hook. The other way is a little thing called the Nook. And I'm not talking the N-O-O-K Nook as in e-reader. I'm talking the K-N-O-O-K as in the Nook. And I've tried both these methods, and they're both pretty basic, pretty simple. I enjoy it. What the Nook is a crochet hook. I'm going to pull this one out. It's nothing more than a crochet hook with a hole in the one end. And you thread a cord on, and this is not the actual cord that goes with it. The kit itself comes with 3 hooks. It's a G, an H, and an I, and it comes with 3 cords, okay, and a small book that just tells you how to cast on, how to do the knit stitch, how to do the purl stitch, and how to bind off. And there are a couple little, includes 4 patterns in the book as well. So I thought it was really cool. I ended up finding it on Barnes & Noble, and I ended up ordering this, which was the kit. And I also ordered 3 of the books. One of the books is just Learn to Nook. Another one is Simple Scarves made with the Nook, and they got a lot of really pretty scarves in here. And then dishcloths made with the Nook. And I got this more for the patterns than for the dishcloths themselves. But it's really very, it's quite simple. I actually pulled it up on YouTube. I will give everybody a fair warning. If you do want to get yourself something like this and you watch it on YouTube, make sure you go to the one that was actually posted by Leisure Arts, because there's somebody else who posted it, and I watched it, and I was doing it her way, and I was finding a lot of trouble with the purl stitches. They were just giving me a lot of trouble. I noticed she was having trouble with it, and I said, it's got to be easier than this. I looked at the one that Leisure Arts posted, and this woman, sorry to say, is actually doing it backwards. So, watching the one from Leisure Arts, I was like, oh wow, now I see why I was struggling to do the purl stitches. Anyway, this is just a practice swatch. You can see the purl stitches, you can see the knit stitches. I just kind of Of course, me messed around, and I ran out of the little ball of yarn, so just attached a thread to bind it off. I was just playing around, and one of the things I did make, this is a dishcloth from the one book. I just used some leftover pink yarn that I had and made this, and it's a really nice, I like it. It's soft. I probably won't use it for a dishcloth. You know, I think I'd use it more for like a face cloth because it is nice and soft, but it's got texture. So there's that, nice lacy pattern. And this was done with the Nook. I also have, I'm working on a second one that's hooked up. And this is called Texture. And that's also done. As you can see, it's on the Nook. And this string acts as your second needle. So I'm done with this row. I just pull it forward and then turn it. And this holds your stitches so you can work your next row of knitting. Excuse me. Then I said, I wonder what would happen if I have this big book of knitting stitches. So I was flipping through and just picked a random pattern to try and came up with this one, and it gives you knits and purls. It's probably kind of hard to see, especially because it's a mixed yarn, but actually tried that, and so far you can actually, I mean in person you actually see, you know, the difference in the stitches, and it does, it looks like it was knit. So anyone who's interested, it's really cool. I went and I bought this 8-yard length of satin cord. Took a little doing to get it because the hole is smaller. This is actually thicker than what they use. But I want to do a full-size afghan. So I decided I was going to buy this cord and attach it and then decide how long of a length I need so I can do a full afghan. You can make a full afghan. They do have pattern for a full afghan, but it has to be done in panels. I want to do the whole thing in one shot. So, actually considering using this to make the baby afghan. So we'll see. But that was the fun for the week. Anyone, like I said, who's a crocheter who doesn't think they'll ever be able to learn how to knit, you can create knit fabrics using crochet hooks. So there's 2 ways. Anybody who wants to know more, message me, I'll let you know. And I will over time show different things that I've made using the Nook. I am going to try the knitting in the round using the Nook because they actually have that in the book as well. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I think that's about it. Didn't do any ones this week. Got a couple different ideas in mind, just haven't sat down. Like I said, not feeling good. Didn't feel like thinking. So, other than that, I can't think of anything. My kitty actually disappeared, so she's not in the video this week. So we'll do a little substitution. Ta-da! So anyway, I think that's it. Once again, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. For me, it's going to be goodbye and good night. For you, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever it is. I hope it's a great one. Have a wonderfully crafty week, wonderfully crafty weekend. Look forward to all the videos, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.